Hello viewer, welcome to our today's episode here on Chungu cha Jamii with me, Kate Waliaro. You're most welcome to join in our conversation today. We are talking about parenting our teenagers and setting them up for success all their life. Now this is with conjunction with the teachers because most teenagers are in school. So this is with conjunction with teachers, how we can parent them together and set them up for success all along. So as usual, I'm not alone, and you may also join in the conversation on our SMS line 21144 and in all our social media handles at GBS TV Africa. Now I have a lady who's been with us here. She inspires us, she stirs us up, and we get to think together and do life together, being on the know with wisdom that we require. So my dear, you're most welcome. Introduce yourself to our viewer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Pastor Pearl Blessing. I am the director of Star with Pearl. We have been together, and I know most of us know me. And today we are here with a message which we want to stir up parents and teachers that we can be able to join together our hands and help these children to do better, because it's about mindset. How we bring it out is how they will take it. If we create a platform of military for them, they will be scared and just do it because they must do it. So let us look for a way to make it a mutual agreement and make a platform for the children to feel appreciated on both sides and supported and desire to do the best. Amen.
Well, as we think about our teenagers, I'm thinking of how us guys were raised back in the days. I don't know about you, but when children get to teenagehood, they are taken as a problem that has to be solved. You see, like a problem that has to be dealt with by the teachers, by parents, and I think that is a very wrong approach, and it does not set them up for success. It sets them up for failure and lack of believing in themselves and
lack
in
of
their
confidence.
God-given abilities. So with that in mind, I wish we could look at this, first of all, parent student,
Child,
parent teenager, parent child relationship. How is it supposed to be, first off?
First of all, the most important thing is that for a parent to know that we have a duty and the child also has a duty, and they need to be independent. When you cause a child to learn to be dependent early, they will surely become independent. If you try to lock them up and you think they always don't know what they are doing, they will never become independent. So one of the things that I would like to look at is that space is very important. Let there be guidelines on, let's say those who do homework. Let us have a timeline, because so that there's no confusion. Why I have not done your homework? They know at this time, this time, I do my homework. Also, it's good to have a time to talk and listen to them. The skills in that child will come out if you start giving them space to listen. Because most of children will come and tell you, help me with my homework, and you are on your list to do. You are doing something on the phone, and you don't even hear what they are saying. Or then you say, don't you know that I'm looking for your school fees? That's your duty. So it's the right of the child to ask. So you push them away. And you find most of them, they get what they need from the house girls. The parents, Kenyan parents are very busy. Let me give you an age of 13. One child told the father, how much are you paid per day? And he said the figure. Then the boy started saving. And one day she asked the father to lend him some money. Why are you asking for money? Borrowing money for what? I'm saving to pay you one day to be with us. Because it was not available. That man changed how he was doing things. Because he thought he was busy making money for them, but they needed him.
He was not available.
He was not available. So that talk, that listening, talking is very important. It will cause that child, that teenager, to start realizing who they are and bring out the skill in them. Be able to ask questions and be given time to answer and even to be listened to.
Okay, listening to you, I'm picking a relationship that is, it's not with an adult, but he's being given a platform. He or she is being given a platform where they feel they are enough to have a conversation with their parents. they are here. You've talked of freedom. Let's talk freedom.
There's no freedom nowadays, let me tell you. Yeah, it is scarce in some of the families. And not that you hate the child. You think you are inputting so much. You're investing in the best school, paying a lot of fees. And that's the best thing that the child wants. But that child needs to hear and to be listened to. There are things maybe even now I know I didn't know. Maybe I didn't apply even my own children. But now I know I can help someone. It's now her career. So what I think is important is that freedom you are saying is like, let me give you a very good example. You find your son or daughter is in Form 3, Form 2, and you are like, where are you? It's like you don't want to see them out of your sight at all. Let me tell you, get a shock of your day. The day you walk into the university and take him to the hotel and leave him there. To make us whether to go to the disco, to the class, to read or to go for prayers. But you didn't give them dependence. So that child, that teenager will suck to recover lost time.
And we've seen that, and especially let me talk of pastors' kids. Because pastors do not want to be embarrassed. They have to bring children who are a very good example to the society, and they somehow limit. Let me say there is no freedom for their children. Freedom of choice, freedom of expression, association, and
even
all
speech.
That. Yeah. So the moment these children go to the university, do you know, in the university everything is free. Even the time you want to sleep, the time you want to wake up, whether you go to class or you don't, nobody cares. Nobody follows up. So like you said, they make up for that time. And that's why you see these children in their first year, second year, they're already with child.
Yeah. But you know, when you give them that room for independence, they know how to know good and bad, and they make a decision. It becomes a process. As we were saying that you may make it like a result oriented. What do you want to see? And let me tell you, the issue of your side of pastors is not about them. It's their image. And you destroy someone's future for the sake of your image. They have never discovered themselves. They got to discover themselves the wrong way. Yeah, because they missed something. And they would have maybe protected themselves because they had the freedom to choose between good and bad. But they found the bad massively and the good in short. So they choose to just to swim in it. So that space, let there be space. Yeah.
So in giving this freedom and independence, with the quest now to give them independence, should there be a limit either way? Because these are growing children, as now the teenagers. Because I'm imagining right now there is so much content in the internet with the young people as they interact. There is so much that is also negative. So I'm thinking if you give them all the way, freedom 100%.
Let me tell you, now it is very dangerous because whether you lock the house, the internet is still in the house. So it is just about that communication. You see, that sitting down and talking.
So
what do you think? Now, what do you think? What kind of life do you like to have? Then you have a conversation. That child will start discovering themselves as we talk. Even as we talk with you here, there are things that we discover. Me, I discover, you discover when we talk. But there's no room for talk. Listening to them, their views, and you take time to listen. And what do you think? You know, sometimes even in their output, what they are required to give out as output in their class, it's like, if you get this, I'll buy you a bicycle. If you fail, I will punish you. So that child will be threatened and will work throughout working for a gift or preparing for a punishment. But the process is the most important. As we said, education will not take you anywhere. It is meant to give you a space to show your talent and your gifts that God has given you. The wisdom that you will acquire because of association and knowledge that you acquired. Nowhere you will apply geography and physics. That's very important to raise your intelligence. You see? So as you invest in the school fees, invest in doing all that, can you give this child time to process himself so that he discovers himself, learns to speak, No, if you give that child 1 hour today, the other day you see how they have behaved outside, you add 2 hours.
Yeah.
They will learn to be dependent and protect themselves and defend you and your image.
Yeah.
But if you lock them in, one day they will
You'll
skip
be
out.
ashamed.
Utaamini.
Now, you mentioned something about rewarding. At if you get this, I'm going to reward you this way. If you do 1, 2, 3, I'm going to punish you. This is a way of parenting for most of us parents.
And it's wrong.
Even
It
for
is very
for
wrong.
the young children, we have put that very clearly. If you get an A this time, there are those parents who will buy a car. There are those people, for the ones who failed, maybe their phone is taken away, stuff like that. And I'm thinking, this child, let's even now live out the process. To the core of who they are, the parents attach value to the outcomes and not to the being of this child. So I'm imagining the psychology of this child. Having been told that I will reward this way, then threats come that when you fail, I will do this and this. The core of that child, do they even feel loved in the first place because of such
You know,
a way
there's
of
false love
parenting?
in families. There's really false love. You feel you love so much, but you are even destroying. As you said another day, a child is like a sponge, absorbs everything, never forgets. Especially when they are growing, they absorb everything.
True.
So they are listening to you and
They are
absorbing.
watching.
So if the life that she or he has learned is that you work for, your output is for gift or punishment, even when they come to their real life, decision making and career choosing will be a problem. But if you allow them, you encourage them, they will like reading. Because learning nowadays is not up to education of school, and you even continue. They will love to read. They will love it. If you show them reading is something good, and it is continuous, and you will like to do it even when you have your own family. But if the boy or the girl reads for a gift or a punishment, you have locked them. And
They don't put value to the process
I've seen
at all.
people who, after exam, give another paper after 1 week. They can't write what they wrote because they were working for the marks. But the process, they don't know.
That is what it did to most people, because at
Yeah,
the
of
end of the day,
course.
you have to get a good mark so that you get into
Majority of A's
Yes.
are read for purpose of exam.
and not the process at all.
The process is not there.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
I know.
And that is very wrong. So that's what we are saying, that give them space. Let them bring out who they are. Advice. Let there be communication. Yes. And especially space. Space is very important.
You give the child space to
Let them think.
explore
Let them
themselves.
think. Let them learn to think early. That will make them, that will cause that child even to realize their purpose at a very early age. But if it's like, don't dare do that, don't pass there, I don't want to see you with so and so's daughter. You talk about teachers in their presence, they will become people who are, you cannot explain. Yes.
Now, how do we cultivate, even for parents?
Yes.
Because I think now this is something that is stirring us up in a way in our hearts, because we are the people, many people have focused on the results.
Yeah.
You will even hear when the results are out, hey, my child did well, they are going to this and this school. But even when people go for the clinic days in schools, you never hear about a parent asking the teacher, how is my child doing with regard to how they communicate with others, with how they play, how they, I've had parents tell teachers, I don't want my child to be in the drama club. I don't want my child to be in the sports team. I don't want my child, anataka 2 grades. That's all. That's
Which
why
is
I took
wrong.
you to
Which
school.
is wrong.
So how do we even cultivate this to be embraced, the process to be the main thing, not the target? Because at the end of the day, we want to have discipline. We want these children to be accountable. Yet we are only focusing on the A and not this process of discipline, integrity, honesty.
Now when we say that education is meant to prepare a platform to bring out who you are, you not go for the A. Because if he comes out with an A and they have never realized who they are, that education is just a paper. Yes, because education is supposed to be a process to take you out and help you, give you intelligence and platform and even space to show who you are.
I love that. I have never
And you have never known who you are. You were reading and reading to write an exam. Then an exam is like the head of life. Where are you going after now? You want to read again?
I think I should have listened to you when I was in Form 1 because
No, you know, when I was looking at this, I thought about Form 1s they are getting into school now. If only they can have a foundation, teacher, parent, and child relationship, as that child comes to Form 1, and push this child together, agree. Let the teacher and the parent have communication. Let's say you are going to meet your teacher, the teacher of your child.
Yeah.
What question are you having in your mind?
How did they perform?
Yeah, you see, performance. But why is the process? You see, there are things that you should ask the teacher, even to encourage that teacher to focus more and show them they are important. Show them that you realize what they are doing. Yes. Apart from, how is the character of my child?
Yeah.
What are the challenges do you see in my child? How can I help you? Because like now, these schools are so many.
Yeah.
So between the teacher and the parent, there must be communication.
Sure.
Because of the peer pressure and this phone. Yes.
Sure.
And you know, this phone has a lot of blessings, but it also carries a lot of junk.
A lot.
Yes. So you need to, don't tell them you can't keep a phone. Just tell him, this phone is like the world. It's a global village in your hand. You choose what to pick. It's like you have beer and milk and water on your table.
Choose one.
What is the best for you? What gives you value?
Yes. I love
Because what is taking our children to drugs at this early age? Because sometimes they are depressed in the house. You have a lot of money. You have everything for that child. Paid the best school. You are paid a lot of school fees.
Yeah.
Then you want to remind him, oh, you are paid a lot of school fees. And you push to bring out the results that you think is what you want. But you don't care about them. Let me tell you, every time you see schools are opening and your child tells you, I don't want to go back to that school. Don't say you can't go anywhere else. Do you know what he's going through? Maybe he's being sodomized and you don't know.
There's a case we recently saw of a child, an MP's child having taken his life.
Yes.
And we followed the story. It was about an argument with the father. They had argued. We don't know the outcome, but what we know is that the child eventually took away his life. There was an argument where he didn't want to go to school.
Do you know why
He
he's
was
saying
being
no?
forced to.
You know, in schools, there are things that happen that a child keeps in his heart he can't even share. And because you never give that child time to sit down and talk, as you have said, and listen to him, he just says, I don't want. And you say, you must.
Yeah,
No communication. They choose to kill themselves.
it's true.
Why can't there be communication? Yes.
Wow. Well, my dear viewer, for me, this one is slapping differently. You know, I'm a mother of some 3 young boys. And hey, I went through school myself, but I didn't have the perspective that Pearl is giving us about the process. The schooling and the education system was supposed to bring out the best version of me realizing my talents, and me growing up to be, this process was supposed to bring me and mold me into something. But I don't know about you, but I used to look forward to the grades. A lot of you parents, we're looking for grades from our children, but we are not focusing on the process that is going to bring out a whole man, a man of integrity, a confident person. You know, we want to create better, and that's why we have Pearl. I hope you are stirred up, because personally, I'm upside down right now. A lot of us usually look at them as a problem that has to be solved, but that is not the case because it's just a process and a stage in life. And Paul has told us that we need to have proper communication, allowing these children to find themselves, be free, and discover who they are. And the fact that education system is supposed to help them bring out realize who they are and bring out the best versions of themselves. I love that. I never knew that when I was growing up. And I hope now you do. And even as you help these young teenagers and parent them, you can help them through the processes, because the process is what is most important, because they learn the values that they are going to use all over their lives, not the grade at the end of it, not the achievements, those ones are not very important. The process, as we have been told by Pearl, is the most important. Now, as we go on, make sure you're joining in the conversation on our SMS line 21144 and in all our social media handles at GBS TV Africa. Now, Pearl, I'm thinking of the student, the parent, and the teacher. Do they have maybe key components that can bring them together, or a key ground that can integrate them into helping this young teenager become better and set them up for success?
Yeah, very key. That's very important, because when sometimes we just pay school fees, dump our children to their teachers, it's your duty to do it. And it's your duty, you child, bring me best grades home. But if only there can be collaboration between the three. You as a parent, you show the teacher that it is my desire to do my part and to help you, help me. We make the best of this child.
So we communicate with the teacher.
The key communication between you and the teacher is like any communication, like between you and your husband and the people around you. You should make it very key. And you let the teacher know that you want this process to bring fruit. From the beginning to the end, you are available. Or when you go to meet the teacher, don't go with questions about the achievement and the grades. Sometimes ask about character and behavior.
Yes, yes.
Show interest that how is he doing in other things apart from the grades and the achievements.
Because here you're interested with who he is and who he becomes.
Who he becomes.
Not what he
You
gets.
start understanding that your child does not go to school to get you marks. Had to get himself a certificate. That certificate is not very important if only he doesn't become who he's supposed to be.
Okay.
That is very emotions. Let me finish this. That's when you protect the emotion of this child. So the emotional intelligence of this child has to be very firm. Because if the teacher is the kind who says, you behave like your mother, and you at home, you behave like your father, this child, you bring him in a place that he starts fighting for his life.
He doesn't know who he is.
He just reads to get grades. How much did you get? And you are abused, you are taught so many things. Can we start to like a process? Education is a process to give that child a space and a platform in the world. That paper will not take them anywhere. It will just show and prove you went to school and you excelled. But if you are to become who you are supposed to become, it's not about a paper. It's about the process that you went and how strong you came out, how emotionally you are able. You could have in the highest IQ, but you are very stupid. And this could be because of the way the teacher and the parent handled you. Some parents discuss teachers before the children, and they listen.
Yeah, disrespecting.
Now we say they are a sponge. They are hearing.
Yes, yes.
One day you will see a child talking to you as a teacher, and you can say, surely, this one must be the parent speaking against me. Then you will see that child as an enemy. So you start destroying.
Yes, yes.
You pay your school fees to destroy your own child. So can we have a collaboration? Teacher, look at this parent. God has brought you in this school. It's a career, you're making money. But you also want your output to see a child who excelled and became someone very important in the society. Pass through your hands, you'll be proud.
That's true.
So the collaboration, there must be respect between the two. You must hold this child and show him that I will play my part, she will play your part, and you, child, can you do yours?
Yes, yes.
When you read for your exams, read knowing that you need to apply the knowledge of what you learned in that book, not only just for the paperwork for the exam. Because some read very fast and cram for the exam. After 1 week, they can't tell you what they read.
Forgotten.
Yes.
It's true. I love how you have put some emphasis the fact that parents pay school for their children. It's their duty.
It's their duty.
It is their duty. It's not that the children are supposed to clap or it's a favor they are being done. It's their duty. Another thing you've said is that teacher and parents parents need to communicate to the teacher. And I'm thinking of how I don't know whether people do this, but I know when at the starting of every academic year, usually students are taken to a different teacher.
Yeah.
And now that we are talking about it, I feel it's a good point.
So there are
where
new peers, new friends,
they could even be the same. Maybe we have moved from one to form two, you see, the same peers, but you've gone to a different teacher. Now, usually there is a breakdown of communication because the parent here, mostly they will not go and communicate with the teacher and tell them this is the strength of my child, these are the weaknesses, and how have you,
the likes and the dislikes.
Yeah.
How can we help him to
achieve his best
collectively?
Yes. So we talked of now
communication.
Collaboration is at its best here.
Yes, and consistency.
And consistency.
Communication, consistency, and collaboration. You communicate and you make it a flow. Then
so every now and then you continue.
You collaborate.
Checking how this child is doing over and over again.
Yes.
I'm thinking of a parenting system where this is very common. A child has done a mistake in school. And they've been sent home. How do parents and the teachers handle this? How are they supposed to do it? Because we see this is also a breaking point for a lot of children. And
sometimes maybe it was a mistake. It was a bad view, or someone maybe reported wrong, and you destroy. I can give you an example of a lady. Okay, we call them a lady because they are in that age, because it was secondary college up over. So there was jealousy because she was performing better than them. They decided to play a game and cause that person to have to be seen as done something very bad, which could not be forgiven. And it was an expulsion, expelled. So the parents at home, the peer parents were like, how can you do that? Yeah. You can't even lead in church because your daughter did this. And all this was just a foreplay by someone. Can you imagine, for about 5 years, because before this girl got married, emotionally she didn't have a place in church, at home, or village, anywhere. If you are not careful, you'll be suicidal and you may kill yourself. So when that child comes home, if you can give room, let them explain. And give them ample ground, because this is your investment. Don't forget. And it's your child, if not they your beat him and you come and beat him and say you are a disappointment, I didn't think all that. Next day you find them taking drugs because they can't contain this. But the drugs will cause them to think they are okay. Then you lose them. Communication is key. Even if kumetokea kitu amekuwa expelled, can you get to the root of the matter? Yes. And that's why I was saying, even this banning of schools and all that, like for example, when during Corona, people went home. They were locked in their house. Some got pregnant, even by their own parents, others the uncles and brothers, because there was that closure, which is not normal. And now, this child maybe the father and the mother lost their job. And the father was the most hero of that child.
Yeah.
He has seen his father at his lowest moment.
Yeah.
He can't buy bread, he can't pay school fees, and this is his lowest moment. So he's bitter already.
Yes, yes.
He gets to school. The teacher also has gone through his own mess
At
during
his
Corona.
own home, yes.
Then you come and speak just a little thing, and nobody's there to look at the emotions of the two. And you see, someone has killed another. As I told you, I've been an assessor of murder in High Court. It's a layman thing that was being done. Nowadays, it's not there. They will take layman people 3 to listen to the case and see, do you think this person killed? I used to do that. And you find some of the things that people cause people to kill because someone could not listen. You closed, the school has closed. You as a parent, you have closed. You think about what the church will say, your child was expelled, about the people around you. Can we as parents talk about the environment around us?
Yeah.
Because our ego and our emotions, we build them at the expense of our children.
That's true.
Let us learn to listen. Maybe a teacher has something against our child,
Yeah.
and they can push them out, and the end of that education goes. Because someone could not listen.
Sure.
And there was no room for communication. Yes. So communication is key. Before you jail and do all that, let there be. That's why in court, they take time to listen. Listen and listen, collect a lot of data. Me, I was taught this by this justice lady. I don't remember what we were calling her. She will take us through those processes. This is how you do it, this is how you do it. But you find that you need to listen and collect all data. Even hata kama mtu anasema na akasimama kwa ukuta akainua mkono, you're right.
Yeah.
Then you go read and give you a verdict. Because you have gone through it. But sometimes, amesemekana ameonekana na kisu. Kisu, basi, aletwe hapa. Akifika nyumbani ni kisu. Ulikuwa taka kuua watu, hata hapa utatuua. Drugs. And you lose.
It's true. It's true. Instead of focusing on healing the
Communication
problem.
is very key. Let us give these children platform. Let us collaborate. Let us talk between parents, teachers, and the society too.
Yes, yes.
Church has become a place where ego is too high.
Yeah. Has the standard.
Parents are competing between themselves.
Who has
My
the
daughter
better
did, my
children?
my son did, because of their levels in the society at the expense of your child. We need to protect that.
That's true.
Yes.
Earlier you had told us, you said this and I loved it, that when we pay the school fees for the child, it's to be taken through the process and learn and gain the goods of the process.
Yes, yes.
Not to bring you grades,
Yeah.
not to bring you as a parent grades, because the process is for the child.
Yes, it's for the child.
And now that we are talking about communication, when we talk of maybe this child who has been through, an indisciplined case, and you told us to listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Because from the whole situation, as you have dissected it, a lot of parents focus on, you see, the outcome of whatever you have been told. You've been told ulishikwa na kisu, you wanted to kill people. And we focus on the mistake. And this child from then on...
Nobody's listening. Why do you take
listening.
it?
Yeah, and you see, eventually even the child also will not listen to you. Whatever you say, will focus on, the outcome of what you want me to do. I will not do it, I will not do it. So it becomes a cycle of, something that is not healing and benefiting anyone. Yeah. So we've talked about communication and collaboration.
And consistency.
And consistency. Meaning now in the consistency, we are supposed to be in constant communication with these 3 parties: parent, teacher, and the student.
Like if you find most of schools, there's been an issue of lesbianism, sodomy.
Yeah.
If there was good communication between the teacher, the child, and the parent, this child, immediately that thing started, they could have communicated.
That's
But
true.
they are threatened. If you say, I will kill you. But they have no one to talk. and nobody listens. So they end up being into it, not because they wanted, but because they have been forced into it, and nobody's listening.
Sure.
When you give room for communication, there are things the child will tell you, you will not believe.
That's true.
Yes.
My dear viewer, you're listening for yourself. Communication is key in all this. From the point we began, communication is coming up a lot.
That's a key thing.
A lot. Communication is key in this relationship of parent, teenager, and the teacher, in making sure we set them up for success. Communication is coming up, and it is consistent communication. And we as parents, as teachers, listening very keenly to our children to be able to help them, to be able to get to the core of a lot of murky matters that we have around, so that we can help them. We can, help them even, become the better versions of themselves. When they see that we are also doing better at listening, at communicating, and at talking to them. So I wish we could take a short break on this note, but please don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with more.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, my dear viewer. We continue with the conversation on parenting teenagers and setting them up for success. And when I talk of parenting, even the teacher here is helping parent. So we've seen the various ways parents can help the children in setting them up for success. First of all, by recognizing that school is supposed to help the process, is supposed to give in the values that this person requires to do life as a whole person and as a very successful person, and grounded, not just going for grades and outcomes. So we have also seen that parents, it's your duty for you to pay school fees, and don't wait for anyone, or even that child to give you a pat in the back, in your back. No, it is your duty, and you're doing this for them, not for yourself. So even when they fail according to you. Seek dialogue, because these children are growing up. They need to express themselves. Whenever they are in mistakes, don't focus on those mistakes, as Paul has told us. Sit down, look at the root cause of the problem or the situation as it is, dissect it until you have a solution, and move forward together, because at the end of the day, this child is not your subject. It's supposed to be your friend, and you're helping them up. They are a child of God. Hata kama amewekwa kwa mikono yako, is not your subject. So I love also the fact that the teachers here are helping us in the school systems. And Paula was feeling like the situations as they are now, there's no a lot of school platforms where parent, child, and the teachers get to meet a lot. So should parents go out of their way in visiting the school so that they can, by choice, see how their children are doing, not even the process, not even the outcome, but during the school period, go and talk to the teacher and know how your child is doing character-wise, or are they building other skills that will help them in life?
Let me tell you, especially this program of now after the corona, the marathon in schools has no room for you to come and talk.
A marathon.
So the only thing that can be done is the administration of the school to create a platform where they make call to parents, have a talk with teachers, students, and the parents. That has to come with the administration.
Yes.
Because you can't just, even when your child is there, you're not allowed to walk in and come and ask questions. Yeah, because they are reading throughout. There's no room for even for rest. So I will advise, or maybe a thought. A layman opinion, a layman opinion, because I'm not, I'm not academic. I'm just saying that it is good if it is possible for such meetings to be there.
Okay.
Look at times that you can bring in parents and teachers to sit, and even the children. Let there be expressions. Like, tell us, what do you think? Let's have that room. They will discuss things you cannot imagine. Me, I do school meetings. One day I went and I spoke about honoring parents. I said it is biblical. The Bible says the first commandment with a promise: honor your father and your mother.
Sure.
And that is life. Then when we asked questions, one child came and said, "Let me, madam, I have heard what you said." But some of the parents that we have, you look for a room to honor, there is no room. the things that they do, you look for where to drop a single drop of honor. You can't even see it.
So this parent is the one who is causing trouble and
Yeah, the way they
triggering
do
the
their
child.
things, the child. Then I told them, it doesn't matter. If you don't forgive you, you'll be like him. Because his blood is flowing through you.
That's true.
You are him. So if you forgive him, you will overcome what he is.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that meetings are very important.
Yeah.
And also, because we have phones, you know who is your class.
The class teacher,
Let there be a constant two-way communication. Yes. If you can share a talk, it's okay. If you have to go, don't go with questions like the outcomes and the grades. Also desire to know the behavior of your child, it's the challenges that he has, how you can be able to help. Show the teacher how much you appreciate, how much you appreciate them, and how you are able now to support. I do your part to bring out conclusions.
There's also this other clique of parents who are very soft. They don't want their children to go through any sort of hardship. They don't want their children to maybe be, what can I say, be rebuked, and will give excessive pocket money. And to some extent, they are setting their children up for failure and not for success. How about those?
That is why you find some parents, even when those children grow up, they don't even want to work. They know the pocket of the parents.
Yeah.
They're looking at it. Some even are going to the end of even killing the parents to take what is there. It's good to make your child comfortable, but not over. Anything excessive is poison.
Yeah.
Even parental is for pain killing. But if you take it excessive, it becomes a drug.
Yeah.
So it is important to be moderate in everything that you do. Don't show that child a lot of love until you confuse them also. That you don't even respect parents because you want them to take care of your child the way you think. And that's the same thing to house girls in the house. You quarrel the house girl and you leave your child with them. And you demand outcome.
Yeah.
That is not possible. Because if you show this child they have more than the teacher, they can talk to the teacher the way they want, they have all they want. If they don't want to go to school, you tell them, Baba, what do you think? If you are tired, you can sleep. Let me tell you, you are not a stone. Tomorrow, you may not be there. They will stand on the ground and the world will be waiting for them. Let the training process that we have said be for all of us, whether rich or poor. That's why people wear school uniform. So because whether you are poor or rich, you wear that uniform, you become equal. Because you have come here for a process in life. To bring an outcome that will change your life and bring you out who you are supposed to be. Your riches are at home, not at school. And that's why nowadays they try to control what to come to school with, so that they can have a moderate and uniform culture in the school. For those parents who are doing that, you're just spoiling your child. Remember, there is tomorrow. They will have their own family. They will have their own lives. It will not be you. Yes. However much you have, it is yours. You will give them their portion, but let them learn how to live their lives. May I give you my example? Me at 24 years, if you have a job, you don't need me, I don't need you around me. That makes you responsible. And as we talk now, my last born is 26. Everybody is settled on, they are working, they are doing their own things. Maybe I'll call to ask for something, but nobody will call me and tell me this and this. Because I did not do babysitting. That's what we call babysitting. You find someone 30 years and asking, Mom, what have we cooked in your mother's house? What are you doing there? Exactly, that's what I started in the secondary school. You pump them a lot of money. They don't even think about their future. Do you know nowadays, because of the online business, there are people who are very young and they are doing things that are making a lot of money. I don't say you start business, but you see that there's a lot of thoughts that are coming out to make you better. But if you pump them with a lot of money, they end up drinking, they are doing the wrong things. There are those who are still very intelligent, whatever you give them, they will do the best things. But usually, they're spoiling. So let us be careful.
I love
Be
that.
moderate.
Yes, sure. In this whole conversation, we are talking about, we talked about communication, but I get something that is key in everything. The process, you know, when we take children to school, there is a target that we want to hit is someone passing their exams, but the goal is this process.
Yeah.
Discipline,
Yes.
gaining confidence,
Being accountable.
being accountable, being realizing who they are, and coming out the best versions of themselves.
Yes, yes.
That is the whole goal.
Of school.
Yeah,
Of
that is
education.
the goal. That is the goal. Target ni moja tu. You may hit it or miss it,
You know,
according to their
these exams
perspective.
which we look at and the grades, and that's just to prepare you to go to the next level. That paper takes you to the next level.
The
You
next
get an
level
A,
of
there's another
values.
level you're supposed to go to.
Yeah,
So if you just read to get an A, you go there and you find you don't even understand what you are doing. Then you go to the university, you're not doing A's, they are practicals. And you don't even know how to think because you have been looking for grades.
yeah.
Yes.
I loved this conversation immensely because had I had such a conversation, I think we would be talking differently today because I never thought about it this way. I thought, and we were focused on, you know, getting your A, getting your B.
It was the ego of your father and your mother.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we were so out to please that, that we missed
The
what
core.
exact. Now that we are talking about it is now when I'm looking back and looking at the things, the values that I picked from school. And these are the values that parents should be looking at. Who is my child, you know, at the end of this? Who are they going to become? Not what are they going to achieve? Because the what is not important. We've seen that today. A lot of people have A's and they are miserable outside here. We've seen them with placards on the roads. I got this and this and I've never gotten a job. 10, 20 years down, you know. But the people who maybe went through school, learned values, gained some values, came out here and, you know, used those values for their, you know, to propel their lives. Those two people are different.
Let me tell you, you see, from one child, I started to understand what life. So if at the area of Form 1, there could be a collaboration between the three.
So this communication should be very timely.
Very timely. Number one, the communication should be timely and should be open.
Yeah,
It should be constructive and very clear.
yeah,
Yes. So if you fail to do that, you bring it late, already the child is spoiled.
yeah.
The mind is spoiled. Yeah. They have a lot of input they have received before you bring in that.
Yeah.
So it is very important to ensure this is timely. At the entrance, when they go something they call what? Orientation.
Orientation, yes.
That orientation, if only you start a platform where parents and teachers sit and agree.
Even the students.
Let us see how this child we can see at the end of Form 4.
Yeah,
And you play your part, let them play, and let there be collaboration, consistency, and that communication flow.
yeah.
A two-way one. And let the parent listen to the teacher.
Yeah.
If he tells you that the change of behavior of your son, don't tell them, not my son. You are planting seeds upon their life. You are destroying him. Next time we will not tell you. Let there be open communication.
Yeah.
If you see something we should discuss, let me know. Let us discuss. When it's about the child, nowadays you don't make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
You know, they watch a lot of things around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will apply.
You don't lecture them anymore.
Yeah, you dialogue.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good to have a dialogue because that will make them very responsible, know how to communicate and even how to make the decisions. Even in life, they will apply the same.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, this has been beautiful. We've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Now that I have children also, I'm thinking about this, and wow, thank you very much. It's been inspirational. It's going to transform a lot of people with how they see life and education system. It's for building values for their lives and not, you know, the target is just a small bit of it, but
Yeah.
the whole idea is to look at the goals that the process is instilling in them, the values. So thank you very much, Pearl. It's been an honor. I wish you could give your parting shot.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, I will talk to the parents and tell them, have an open communication.
Yeah.
This is a person, only that the age is small,
Yeah.
and they have a future. Give them a platform to talk, to express themselves. Give them space.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you take them to university and you can't sleep. Have you woken? Have you eaten? Have you gone to class and you can't sleep?
Yeah.
Give them space early. Let them learn to be responsible. Give them 1 hour and next week 2 hours. Let them be responsible with their lives. And through that, communicate with teachers and the people around you, even the youth pastors in the church.
Yeah.
Learn to know, how do you see my son? How do you see my daughter?
Yeah.
Let there be communication. And through that, it will be very easy.
Sure.
And with that, I want to thank God for today. For those who maybe joined when we are on, I'm Pastor Pearl Blessing. I'm Director of Star with Pearl, and I thank God for this meeting. I am in Embassy House along Arambi Avenue and Parliament Road, and you can find me there.
Okay.
I'm available for such things.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you. It's been an honor. God bless you for us too. You've been a blessing to our viewers, to myself, yeah, and to Chungu cha Jamii. So my dear viewer, I know you've learned a lot today, and today you have a different perspective about the education system, how we parent our teenagers, even the small ones. I know you're already thinking, for that one who has younger children, you're already thinking about them and how you're going to parent them and set them up for success. Because at the end of the day, we want a happy society and where everyone is the best versions of themselves. Because for sure we have to live nicely and beautifully in this land of the living. So we got to help each other. And we thank Pearl here for giving us all this wisdom. It's been an honor for me to have you there, and for always, you know, following up and sending in your comments and questions on our platform. It's been beautiful. And I hope even as we go for now, until next time, you know, make sure you'll be tuned in. And if you came late, make sure you watch from the beginning. It's been awesome. It's been fulfilling and educative. So I wish to leave you here. I've been your host, Kate Waliaro. Until next time, bye-bye.